Are you having a hard time figuring out what to get Dad for Father's Day? You should check out Row 1 Brand's Vintage Pictorum Gallery. They have America's best sports art. With over 7,200 historic sports prints, you're assured to find something unique for Dad this Father's Day. Instead of a boring old tie, get him a historic baseball photo taken by Henry High Sandham at the historic Polo Grounds Stadium in New York City during the 1894 Temple Cup. Or, if he's an NFL buff, check out the 1963 vintage NFL poster. These are so good looking that you'll be amazed how they turn out. Shop now at sportshistorynetwork.com/row1 and save 15% off your order.
All right, welcome back to the preview number 6 of 7. And today we're talking about the AL East, the Beast League, the Beast Division. They got the league, the divisions got like 4 teams and the Orioles. So this is, and the thing is there's going to be 4 teams competing for 2 spots because I only got 2 of them making the playoffs, and 2 of them are SOL. So let's dig into who we got going on here, and I'm going to go in order of how this division is going to play out. Okay. So first up. And you know what? We're going to start from the bottom. I was going to start from the top, but let's build this up. Okay? So let's start with the bottom. Let's start with the easiest team in this division. Okay? The Orioles. They went 52 and 110 last year. Their Pythagorean said they should only went 54 and 108. All right? They are bringing back... They're bringing back a lot of pieces, okay? They also are projected to go 61.3 and 100.7. Okay? They have no chance of making anything this year whatsoever. All right? Their best player last year was a guy by the name of Cedric Mullins. Number 2 was John Means. Number 3 was Austin Hayes. 4th, Cole Susler. 5, Ramon Urias. Okay? That's who their best players were. All right? Their starters this year are going to be Means, Jordan Lyles, Keegan Aiken, Bruce Zimmerman, and a bag of mix of players. Anybody listening to this podcast probably go out there and ask the Orioles if they want to if they can be their starting pitcher for that day. That's realistically how this team is. Okay, you don't have a whole lot of anything. It's just a minor league team playing Major League Baseball. Derek Albin's the guy from Baseball Prospectus that is the one that put the depth chart together. As always, stats are brought to you by baseballprospectus.com, baseballreference.com, and the team's website. So in this case, the Orioles. So let's start it off. All right, let's start off with their closer, Tyler Wells and Cole Susler. Set of guys, Tanner Scott. Okay, you got catcher, Adley Rushman. Ryan Mountcastle is going to be your first baseman, and then you got Jorge Mateo and Odor as your second baseman. You got Urias and Mateo as your shortstops. You got Kelvin Gutierrez as your third base, Austin Hayes left field, Cedric Mullins center, and Anthony Santander as your right fielder, and then Trey Mancini as your DH. They've signed Jordan Lyles and Robinson Chirinos. They lost Matt Harvey, Ferdinand Abad, and Brooks Kriske is who they lost. So, your Baltimore Orioles, ladies and gentlemen, are going to barely win 55 games this year. Okay? Now, we get into the big 4. Okay? The first of the 4, to be exact, all right? So, here who is the first team that is going to be missing the playoffs your Boston Red Sox are going to be missing the playoffs this year. Even with signing Trevor Story, and we're going to get, I'm going to get into a little depth about Trevor Story as well in this as I talk about this, okay? So, Pacoda has them going 85.8 and 76.2. They have them with a 5% chance of winning the division, 43% chance of making the wild card, and a 1.8% of making the World Series. Okay. They went 92-70 last year. All right. They lost in the ALCS to the Astros. They went out and got Trevor Story. They went out and got Michael Wacha. They went out and got Rich Hill. They went out and got James Paxton. They traded for Jackie Bradley Jr. They got David Hamilton and Alex Beneas, and they got Jake Diekma, and they got Matt Strahan. But they lost Tim LaCostra, Kyle Schwarber, Hansel Robles, Danny Santana, Edward Rodriguez, Adam Ottavino, Travis Shaw, Martin Perez, and Garrett Richards. They also got Trevor Story. Right? Right. So, they went 92-70. The Pythagorean says that they should have been an 88-74 team. Okay? They have Chris Sale, who's injured. You got Nathan Eovaldi as well. Then you have Nick Pavita and Michael Wacha and Rich Hill, all as your rest of your starters. And I'm sorry, when you have Wacha and Hill as your starters, that's a problem. Those guys are washed up. I mean, they're not really washed up. I mean, obviously, they're still big league players, but they're not like dudes that you can rely on. Okay? I mean, you can rely on for a few innings, but not a whole lot. And then you got Tanner Houck. Your catcher is going to be Christian Vasquez. First base, you're rolling out Tristan Casas and Bobby Dahlbeck. Your closer is going to be Garrett let's get to the closer real quick. We're kind of skipping all over on this one. Closer is going to be Garrett Whitlock and Matt Barnes. He got a setup guy by the name of Ryan Brazier. Okay. Second base is going to be Trevor Story. Shortstop, Xander Bogaerts. Third base, Rafael Devers. Left field is going to be Jarren Duran. Center field, Jackie Bradley Jr. Right field, Alex Verdugo. And your DH is JD Martinez. Okay, so you went from a squad last year where your top 12 players were Enrique Hernandez and Xander Bogaerts, Eovaldi, Rafael Devers, Garrett Whitlock, JD Martinez. So, I mean, and Hunter Renfroe. You also traded away Hunter Renfroe. So let's not forget that. So I think again you have and actually let's back this truck up real quick, because I think I said Enrique Hernandez was going to play your second baseman, or you picked up Enrique Hernandez. I said Enrique. Anyways, the updated depth chart is having Enrique Hernandez play center, not Jackie Bradley Jr. They have Jackie Bradley Jr. Not even playing the field. So That's another win for that that Hunter Renfrow trade. Okay. That's for sure. I don't think the team has enough pieces here in order to make a run. I definitely do believe that all of the hubbub about Trevor Story was kind of overblown. All right? And this is the reason when I'm going to tell you why. And everybody's going to come at me and say you don't know what you're talking about. But thanks to baseballreference.com, I can tell you exactly what this guy does. Okay? So, in his 6 years in the Major League Baseball, okay, he has a 45.9% of a hard drive hit percentage. 28.5% of those are line drives. 33.9% are ground balls. 28.8% are fly balls. He has a 0.52 to ground ball to fly ball ratio. So this guy hits more ground balls than he does getting the ball in the air. Okay? The MLB average, so he's a little above average on line drives because the averages are 45 or 25, 43, and 23. And he's at 28, 33, 28. Okay, he pulls 25% of the time and hits up the center field 54% of the time. The problem is I don't know if y'all have ever seen Fenway Park, but that center field is deep. I mean, deep. And if you're not a pull hitter to try to hit over the monster, so yeah. I mean, they're paying him a lot, and this is the projection that Baseball Reference has him at, okay? They have him projected to score 84 runs, 134 hits, 30 doubles, 5 triples, 24 home runs, and 69 RBIs. 19 stolen bases, walk 50 times. He's going to bat .265. I mean, yeah. So you're paying him for that type of production? What you're paying him? I mean, and he's been kind of on a downward trend since 2018, or 2019, I guess. So yeah, well, 2018 and 2019. I mean, 2018 and 2019 were his standout years, but you take out 2020, all right, whatever. But you throw a 251 average last year and 24 home runs and 75 RBIs. Guess what? That's the same stats that he had at 23 and 24. So I think you overpaid him. You overpaid for him, obviously. I mean, you're getting an all-star. You're getting a silver slugger. But those years are long gone. And he definitely had a lot of Coors Field advantage in here. Like the same thing. Like Chris Bryant's going to take a huge advantage of Coors Field. Okay? Just like everybody else has. Trevor Story, the Yankees did the smart thing by passing on him. Okay? So the Red Sox are going to finish 4th in this division. So who finishes 3rd? Well, that's a good question because we're going to get right on that one right now. 3rd place is your Tampa Bay Devil Rays, or Tampa Bay Rays now. Last year they finished in 1st place. They went 100 wins and 62 losses. They lost in the ALDS to Boston. Okay? The Pythagorean had them at 101 and 61. All right. Pacoda's got them going 85.4 and 76.6. See, Pacoda has them flopped around. I think Boston and Tampa are going to be flipped around as well. I think Tampa wins 86 games, and I think Boston wins about 83. That's where I'm at. So, and Tampa's got a 4.6% chance of winning the division. They have a 42% chance of making the wild card, and they got a 2% chance of making the World Series. So, what did they do? Well, they lost Michael Wacha. He went to the Red Sox. They lost Kellen McHugh. They lost Nelson Cruz. They lost Tommy Hunter. They lost Chris Archer. They lost David Robertson. So, but they signed Corey Kluber. They traded for Luke Raley. They signed Jaron Adam. They signed Brooks Raley, and they traded for Ronnie Ronnie Simon, sorry. Okay, so who's their pitcher is going to be? Starter is going to be Shane McCallahan, Shane Baz, Corey Kluber, Luis Patino, Drew Rasmussen, and Ryan Yarbrough. And this depth chart is brought to you by Derek Album of BaseballProspectus.com. Okay. Their closer is going to be Andrew Kittredge and Peter Fairbanks. Their setup is J.P. Farrison and J.T. Shargoy. All right. They got a few middle relief guys: Matt Weisler, Colin Pooch, Jeffrey Springs, Ryan Thompson, and Nick Anderson. Doesn't blow me away. This team doesn't really blow me away. For catcher, we're bringing out Mike Zuzuno. First base is gonna be Yi-Min Choi. Second base is Brandon Lowe. Shortstop is Wander Franco. Third base is Yadi Diaz and Taylor Walls. Yandy Diaz. Left field is going to be Randy or Rosanna. Oh my God, I'm so bad with names. Or Rosanna. Center field to be Kevin Kreimeyer, and right field is Manuel Margot, and then your DH is Austin Meadows. So, I mean, we can give you a breakdown of the season of their team last year, but I don't think they're going to pull it off the same way they did this last year as they are going to be this year. They're bringing back Brandon Lowe was one of their high-scoring guys. So they keep him. They keep Orozana. Keep all those guys. So, I mean, they got off to a hot start. And they really get off to a hot start. So they won 13 games in April, 22 in May. So May they had a really good month. June they were 12-14. July they were 16-8. August 21-6, and they were 14-13 in September. So, who did they play in those months? I mean, they played Miami, Texas, the Royals. And Oakland. A majority of that first month. So, and then when they actually had to play real teams, that's when they lost. Like in May, they had the Astros, the Angels, the Yankees, the A's last year, the Mets, and the Blue Jays. And then in June, again, they played Washington and Baltimore, and so yeah, their schedule last year was able to give them a decent win. And I understand everybody else had to play those guys too, but they were just able to get a rally going off those easy months and continue through the year. I don't think they do that this year. So that's why I have them finishing where I do. So who's going to finish in second place of this division? Well, that, my young friends, would be the Toronto Blue Jays, who barely missed the playoffs last year at 91-71. Came down to the last weekend for them. And this 91-71 team finished fourth last year. So they're definitely going to do better. That's for sure. They're going to make the playoffs this year. They lose their best player in Marcus Semien. He went to the Rangers. But they still have Vlad Guerrero. They still have Bichette. They still have they still have BGO. They still got good guys. So who did they lose? They lost Kirby Yates, Jared Dyson, Joakim Soria, Steven Matz, Robbie Ray, Marcus Semien, Corey Dickerson, David Phelps, and is who they all lost. They got Shane Anderson off waivers. They signed Gracie, Kevin Gaussman. They traded for Matt Chapman, signed Andrew Vasquez, and they also signed UC Kikuchi as well. So now they're going to roll out Jose Barrios, Kevin Gaussman, Han Ji-Ru, Alex Mananoa, and UC Kikuchi as well. The closer is going to be Jordan Romero, and setup is going to be Tim. I can't read my writing. I should just be reading this right off the baseball's prospectus. Hold on. So then you'll have Jordan Romano and Tim Meza as your setup and closer. All right. You got Yimi Garcia. That's who they signed as well. So, I mean, when you throw in Matt Chapman, like, that's a good pickup. So, catcher-wise, you're going to have Danny Jansen and Reese McGuire. Then your first baseman's obviously Vlad Guerrero, one of the best young players in the league. Then you have got Kevin Biggio. Then you have Bo Bichette. You have Matt Chapman at third. You got your left fielder is going to be Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Center field's George Springer. Right field is going to be Randall Grichuk. So, I mean, and then your DH is going to be Teoscar Hernandez. So, yeah, they're going to bring the fire. I mean, this team is going to build off what they did last year. Maybe, especially with Chapman, having Chapman and Guerrero batting back to back is going to be huge. And you throw in Springer as well. Like, that's a hard 3, 4, 5 hitters right there. And Bichette and Biggio both can do damage as well. So this team's definitely going to finish fourth. They went 91-71 last year, like I said. Pacoda's got them going 91.1 and 70.9 with a 16.5% chance for the division, 62% chance for a wild card, and they have a 5% chance of making the World Series. So I really think that the Blue Jays are going to get in there and make the playoffs. They're probably going to be your fourth or fifth seed is what it's going to be. They're going to end up with your fourth or fifth. So now, who does that leave for the division winner? None other than the New York Yankees. The team that has many... Somehow I got on Yankees Twitter, and I tell you what, Yankees Twitter is a different beast. Yankees Twitter, they don't know if they love Cashman or hate Cashman. They don't know if Steinbrenner is loved or hate. Like, it all depends on whether or not which free agent they signed or how much money they spent. It's crazy. And again, passing up on Trevor Story, a good idea. Not getting Freddie Freeman, that hurts a little bit, yes. Not getting Carlos Correa, that hurts a little bit as well. Taking on Josh Donaldson's money so that way the Twins could get Correa. That was kind of of a move. I mean, you want Correa, or you should have wanted Correa. Obviously, you didn't want to probably pay the 10 years, $300 million that he was probably asking, but you probably could have got him a deal like what the Twins did. So, but I don't think not having Correa is going to hurt your team, though. I really don't. So, the Yankees last year went 92-70. They finished, they went 92-70 last year. They finished second again to the Rays. They were projected to go 86-76, so they kind of overachieved. They have a hitter-friendly ballpark, especially with that right field porch. Aaron Judge was their top player with a 6.0 WAR, followed by Garrett Cole. Yeah. I mean, and then after Cole, it was Jordan Montgomery, and then Stanton, or not Stan, and then Jonathan Loizaga, and then Stanton. So, yeah. Sanchez, they got only batted .204 last year. I think by going with Ben Rodevert, you're taking a chance on a young guy, but I think it pays off. I think it pays off at the end because, you're looking at Sanchez, who was your catcher and hasn't really performed well except for in 2016 or in 2017 is about it. 2019 he batted .232. He had 34 home runs and 77 RBIs, so that was a good idea. But that's also, and last year he still had 23 home runs and 54 RBIs. But I think going with the young guy makes sense. I think the team can handle it at catcher. I do. So go with him. You got your starters of Garrett Cole, Jordan Montgomery, Jameson Talon, Nestor Cortez Jr., and Luis Severino. And I put Severino in there due to the injury to Domingo Germán. So, Severino's a really good fifth starter. So then you got your setup guys of Jonathan Loaziga and Chad Green, and Aroldis Chapman is your closer. And then, middle relief, Peralta is good. Holmes is good. So, yeah, you guys are good. You guys are really good. You guys are so good. You guys are going to win 100 games this year. That's how good you guys are. Okay? So then for catcher, you got Ben Rochevert. First base, you got Rizzo. I think a full year at Yankee Stadium with Rizzo is going to pay off a lot. I think a full year with Rizzo being a Yankees uniform is going to pay off big time because he just wants to win. And he still can play defense. His bat's going to get better. He's, make some adjustments and he'll be good. Anthony Rizzo is a true gamer. You got Gleyber Torres at second, which that's a good move. Move him back to second because he's not really a shortstop as much as they want him to be. He's not. He came up as a shortstop in the Cubs organization, but he was probably never going to play short, even if he stuck around and to get traded for Chapman. So for that 2016 World Series. You have Isaiah Kiner Falefa as your shortstop, Josh Donaldson as third base, Joey Gallo playing left. Again, Joey Gallo gets a lot of hate, but Gallo's a gamer, bro. I would love to have Gallo and Rizzo on my teams for sure. Aaron Hicks is a good center fielder. Reminds me of Bernie Williams out there. Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge. And then you got Stanton as your DH. And then the beauty is you can have DJ LeMahieu play first, second, and third. So he can play pretty much all the infos positions except for shortstop. And when you need to fill in for a shortstop, you got Oswald Peraza or even that Cabrera kid that I saw just go bonkers at spring training. So Oswaldo Cabrera, yes. I think he makes the squad as well. And that's going to be huge. So you traded for Josh Donaldson and your shortstop, Kiner IKF, and Rochevert. Okay? Rodovert, whatever. You re-signed Rizzo. You traded Luke Voigt for Justin Lang. You signed Tim LaCostra, and you signed Joey Rodriguez. Okay? Joely Rodriguez. You gave up Urshela, you gave up Sanchez, you lost Kluber, you lost Darren O'Day, Brett Gardner probably not coming back. You traded Tyler Wade to the Angels. You lost Clint Frazier, but you released him. You released Odor, and you released Chris Gittens. This team is your 1 seed in the AL. This team and the Angels, they're going to match well up in October when they face each other. And this team is going to be battled. If they can stay healthy, that's going to be the key. They have to stay healthy. So we got the Yankees winning the AL East. The Blue Jays are going to finish second. Red Sox are going to be third. The Rays are going to be third. Red Sox 4. And then you have the Orioles finishing 5th. So, all right. Well, that wraps up all the divisions. So, we only have left to do is playoff predictions and who's going to win this World Series and why. Who's going to be the 2022 champion. So, that's what we're going to do next episode is we'll break down my playoff picks and break down who's going to win the World Series. As always, thanks for listening. Go ahead and find me on Twitter, One Guy with a Mic, TikTok, One Guy with a Mic, Twitch, One Guy with a Mic Sportscast. Find me, where you listen to podcasts at. Make sure to hit the follow button. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure you rate it. So, all right, that's it. We're done. We got one more episode of Baseball Week, and then Baseball Week is not. The week's over, but baseball's not over. Thank God. So, all right, y'all have a good one. Thanks.